Conflict!
I'll just start with the early days, if that's all right. Like you mentioned that you went to see David Bowie with your big sister as your first concert. So yeah, let's start there. Really, I mean, how was that concert, and what impact did it have on you?
I didn't actually see it because she was meant to be babysitting me, and I was very young, obviously. And he was playing in a pub in Bromley where he lived. And she was meant to be babysitting me, but instead she decided to go to that concert, and I sat outside with a bag of crisps. I didn't know who it was at the time, obviously. Many years later, I found out who it was, so didn't actually see it, but that was where it was.
Excellent. So tell me about the room that you're sat in now. Is this your little studio? No.
We're building it into a studio, but I'm trying to keep it analog because I don't like. Well, I can't use digital stuff, so and I prefer it that way. So it's taken a bit of doing. But you get there.
It looks great, man. You've got your records on the wall.
Yeah, the other end is where all the mixing desk is and stuff like that. So.
Oh, excellent.
It'll be good when it's done. It's just getting it all in and starting.
So have you started recording anything in that room yet, or?
No, just bits and pieces downstairs, demos on bass and stuff like that, but nothing, nothing great.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the new album that you're working on. So you said you've got a new single. What's the name of the single?
The album and the single, both called This Much Remains.
Excellent.
Okay. So with the single, the album would be like the same name, but yeah, works.
Yeah, brilliant. So how long have you been working on that, and what is the song content about?
I've been working on it too long. Always take me time. I think last one I did was 2003, I think, released one.
Yeah.
I just do it when because I'm not signed to anybody, I don't have to do it. I do it when I want to do it. Yeah. Content is about everything, really. I wouldn't say the same old, but there's not a lot that's changed. So it's basically the same things as we said before, maybe a little bit stronger. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how does it feel, the fact that, I mean, the things that you said in the band, say 40 years ago, are just as relevant today? I mean, does that make you feel like disheartened, or are you just glad that your art is timeless?
Well, I think, no, it doesn't make me disheartened because a lot has changed from when we started, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of what makes conflict still relevant, and and a lot of people disagree and agree, and I like both, and they come to see us. It's pretty flattering because there's so many new bands that do it far better than us, and it's unfortunate that they don't get the type of crowds we do because he's wrong. Yeah. But I do understand it is what it is. But what I wanted to do with this was not take it to a different level, but just it's kind of every album I do, I wouldn't do a filler album, I want everyone to be, and if this wasn't as good as the last one, then I wouldn't put it out, I'd just leave it at that. So
yeah.
That's playing with me all the time.
So at the moment you've got 8 albums out, is that right?
I don't know.
So we got the It's Time to See Who's Who LP,
yeah.
83. We got Increase the Pressure, 84.
Yeah.
Ungovernable Force, 86.
Yeah.
From Protest to Resistance, was that 86 as well?
Live bootleg, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, then the Final Conflict LP, 88.
We had, after Ungovernable Force, we released that, what was it called? Turn the Rebellion into Money with Stevie Green.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Remember it, the live Brixton one, we did that.
Wicked. And then you got...
And then we've got some comms, but the next one will be the Final Conflict album.
Yeah, 88.
Against All Odds.
Against All Odds, 89.
Yeah,
and then
as well.
Conclusion, 1993.
Probably.
Yeah. And then There's No Power Without Control, 2003.
There's a gap in there. There is
So yeah. It's a big back catalogue, and it's all like on your own label, isn't it?
Most of it. Some of the early stuff was on Crash
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the album originally came out on Corpus Christi because first of all, we started with the House at Manville single, and then we done Live at Central Berco, To a Nation of Animal Lovers single. So there's quite a lot of singles going on in the meantime as well. 780 is Dead, The Battle Continues. Yeah, there's a lot. This Is Not Enough. So there's about 8 singles as well. So it hasn't been quite that long ago.
So More to Hate Records, when you record your albums on there, I mean, as you said, like it's been a lot of years between albums and stuff. Do you just take your music to any studio that you feel like working in at that time, or do you have a certain process that they all go through?
Well, no, really. I mean, basically, when we started, we did it as a thing called More Hate Tapes, as a part of Walk. We did a few bits and pieces, and then obviously got to know Stephen, and we had the chance to do this Tassa Manville on Crash, which was amazing. Went well, and it kind of went from there. We had the next one on Poison Girls Eccentric Records, then on Corpus Christi. And then we started our own thing. We got approached by some distribution companies. And so I thought, okay, well, for no reason, there wasn't any problems. We just decided to try ourselves. And that's the first thing we put out, I think, was the 780s Dead single. I think that's right. And then the Increase the Pressure album, maybe the other way around. But we went to a distribution company direct called IDS.
Yeah.
We basically we press it ourselves, we have it delivered and stuff like that. But the big knockback we got on that is that we sold ridiculous amounts and they went bankrupt. At the time, but there was a lot of people went bankrupt at that time, and we lost a fortune on it.
Amazing, yeah, no, that's really cool. And like, we doing the Pay No More thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were kind of not bankrolled, but we were supported very heavily by a company called Jungle Records.
Yeah.
We Steve Brown very well, and they're really great guys. And to be honest with you, they bent over backwards money-wise to help us in studios. They'd pay it for us, and they'd only take a little bit more over the distribution percentage, you know. So we did all of our early stuff. We did in a studio called the Greenhouse, which was in Islington, and that was good. But Ungovernable Force, we were in Rockfield, in Monmouth. Do you know that one?
Yeah. Yeah, no, wicked, man. That's really cool. I just wanted to ask you about like when Conflict began in '81. I mean, what were you like then, and what was the main driving force for you as a band with Paco and all the original members?
When Conflict started?
Yeah.
Well, I got kicked out of the band before that in '79 called Splattered Rockstars because I wasn't a good enough frontman. We started with a totally different lineup. It wasn't even Paco at first. It was Graham Ball, Kenny Barnes, Big John, and me. And we didn't play, but we done a little bit of rehearsing and stuff like that, and just kind of got it together. And then when I had my eye damaged, I decided I won't got that. I had enough. So I came out of hospital, and then Big John introduced me to Paco and made me do it again because I just thought, wow. And, so basically, we played. Our first gig was, I think it was '79, end of '79, with supporting UK subs, First on the Bill down in Gillingham. But our first real gig that we did ourselves and promoted ourselves was April the 11th, '81, and we did that locally.
Excellent.
That was the first proper Conflict gig, you know, with proper line-up and stuff like that. So.
Brilliant. So have you kept in touch with Charlie Harper and the UK subs over the years?
Well, I see him at festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. So, I mean, you grew up in Eltham, and there was like quite a lot of violence in the punk scene and with the skinheads and the fighting and stuff, like later on when you had the band. But was there a lot of violence in your life before the band started, before punk came along?
Well, before I started, before I got, actually started Conflict, there was, gigs and stuff like that. I was on Cold Harbour Estate, which had the notorious Nutty Skins, but to be honest with you, most of them was all right with me and Big John because we knew one another, do you know what I mean? There wasn't any, then it weren't really as political as it's become now, the big divide, you know. But I will say, to go to gigs, I mean, I used to follow Clash everywhere because I got to know Joe really close. and it was really hard to get back from North London then, you know, without bumming in on tubes. That was when the British movement was really big.
Yeah.
And I think the major turning point, I went to see the Clash and Sham 69, and they were called the Coventry Specials then. It was the Specials, and it kicked right off that day. And that's the first time I've seen punks like that. And
Wow.
that was pretty, that was pretty good, you know what I mean? So you got to taste their medicine for once.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say, I mean, there was a lot of trouble early on, a lot of the crash gigs.
Yeah.
Our gigs we had a little bit, but not a lot, not a lot.
Yeah. Oh, wicked. And what were some of your like good memories with Joe then, since you say like you got quite close with him?
Well, I mean, the first time I met him, I felt really silly because I asked him to sign the first album, The Clash, really, and he said no. And I was like, oops. He went, no, I'm not being nasty. He said, but it's a waste of a good cover, and I'll give you this hug instead, and you can remember it all your time. And I did.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because it's not what punk was about.
Yeah, and then I started following him about, and you know, just sleeping in doorways with other people and stuff like that. And I got in one day, and that was it really. He just got me in all the time, and I got on well with all of them, except the Mick Jones didn't like me much.
Why was that? Do you know?
Not sure. The others were fine, do you know what I mean? I got to know him over the years, went to see his house and stuff like that, and just saw a whole different side of him. It just become very, very. It was hard for me because I was really knew Joe and I really knew Steve, so and the two weren't really, you know what I mean, but down the middle. Because obviously, two different things, chalk and cheese. Really, the Clash got me. I mean, you know, obviously the Pistols and the Clash got me into it. Susie and the Banshees, one of my favourite bands. But then when I actually saw Crass, I thought, you know, oh, I could do that myself. It give you that whole new feeling to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so like, what was your impression when you went to see the Sex Pistols at the 100 Club? I mean, was that in '77 or '76?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even, to be honest, I'm so young, I don't remember. I remember there was a lot of trouble, but again, that was my sister, so you know what I mean. But I can claim it, but I don't know. I mean, you know, the first time I heard them properly was when I got given a white label, which was called Spunk, which was Never Mind the Bollocks. And that's the first time I put that on. I was like, wow, my mate gave it to me. And that's when I started thinking, hang on, this is a bit of me. And that's when it all changed, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, as you, I mean, the first wave punk bands, I mean, they were very political, like they were against the system, but then they sort of went off to America a bit, and then anarcho punk, that gave way to the rise of anarcho and like Crass and Conflict and Flux and all of those bands. I mean, you were always seen as a massively political band, so I just wondered, what are your earliest memories where you realised that you were quite a political person? I mean, like as a teenager.
I mean, I've always had my views. I mean, obviously in my book there's some amazing school reports that I've put in.
Yeah.
Yes, I've always been here. You have to read it and believe, really. But no, I mean, we're political in the fact that I'm not political. I'm anti-political. I'm not left or right wing, but that makes us political, you know. I mean, with me, when we started the band, I just did it because I wanted to do something, but I didn't dream that it'd get where it was going to get.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, House of Man will come out, done really well. Everything just went really too fast, and that's the reason why I stopped playing around the conclusion time, because we've become what we set out not to be. You know what I mean? Packing out halls with everybody agreeing with us and stuff like that, where it wasn't like that at first. And then when we started doing To the Nation of Animal Lovers, it wasn't a popular thing to sing about. And then it became popular, and then we've stayed with it, but other people's moved away from it. As for bands going to America, I mean, obviously I've seen, in my view, a lot of bands get fucked up over there, including, you know, the Clash. It's not for me to say, but I think that it's only if you want to get fucked up. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been there 9 times now. So, you know, it's overpowering. It's a lot bigger. Yeah, I mean, the first time we went there was 1985. We was main support a festival with DOA to like 18,000 people, and it's like wow. Never done that before, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So did you find that, like, as you said, like you became quite famous and people were like really following the band, and it became a little bit too much. I mean, did you feel like by saying in your music, think for yourselves, that people were following you and looking to you as too much of a leader that you didn't really want to be?
Well, I think we done our own thing our own way, and I think I mean, Des Russell does Rebellion. I was talking to him recently, and he said to me it was so different, and then, you know, trouble everywhere and stuff like that, and then you lot come along and it changed for good. So we've done that bit good, but
Yeah.
I want people to take what they want from it and leave the rest behind. But like when they hang on every word and criticise that and criticise this, you can do it. Just be yourself, do it your own way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even like because of everything I'd read about Crass and like everything I'd got into, like even in the 21st century, I never thought that I would be able to like see him live or anything. So it's great to see like bands like Conflict and Steve Ignorant going on stage still. So that was great for me. But when I went to Dial House for the first time, then I was so scared that I was going to be like judged, like, oh, you've got chocolate, that's not a vegan, or like things like that. You know, I was so worried. But Penny wasn't like that at all. So it was kind of like I felt a bit of pressure. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is what I don't like. Is if some bands don't agree with certain things with one another, they seem to fall out. I mean, me and Penny don't agree on loads of stuff, and we've had big arguments over Dial House over it, you know. And there's obviously the pacifist thing, and I'm not a pacifist, you know. So there's that, and there's the ALF thing, and you know, he doesn't exactly agree with a lot of that. He agrees with the sentiment of some of the stuff we did, but it doesn't mean I've not got respect for them. You know, it's not like type thing. It's not that, you know. And I think you have to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, live and let live. And
there's a lot of people that not hang on you every word, but will just cross-criticise, and there's better things to do.
Yeah, of course.
It's like with the book. Because I've had a load of stick over the years, as Steve told you, with the book, I intended to do a page of, I say, all the people or bands that's put me down, send it to them as a draft copy, say, there's a blank page, you can fill that in, tell me I'm wrong, right? And then I would have done it. But to be honest with you, I thought about it afterwards, and as much as I thought it was a good idea, I don't want it to be about putting other bands or other people down.
Yeah.
You know, it's a history and it's a story, but it's progressive. It's about the future too. It's got to be all not the end of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very hard when you're writing a book to like be really honest, but also pick out all of the, you know, really interesting parts. You're like, I can't bore anybody. I can't slag anyone off. I've got to be like quite, you know, like it's a lot to think about, isn't there?
So far, and obviously, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've told the truth in it in certain stuff how I started and stuff, and people go, oh, you shouldn't have said that. But it's what happened. You know what I mean? I don't want to change it. Obviously, because of the ALF stuff in it, I've had to be careful. And it's had to go off to, little sections have to go off to a lawyer to make sure that I don't get incriminated or incriminate anybody else. You know, it's quite, but where it's like a conflict and movement with me, 30 chapters, 10 on each, some of them start to cross over, and that's the hard bit. You know, at first it's just me, and then obviously, you know, it's the conflict thing comes, and it all kind of blends into one, because the personal life was going on with the acid house thing, and conflict was, it's all kind of merges. It's hard, but I wouldn't tell. I mean, I've seen so many books, and they've got, frankly, a load of this bollocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't do that.
No, exactly. So it'll be a unique story, and it'll be the truth. So that's good.
It's done in a certain way. It's got, you know, there's a lot of stuff I've had to leave out, obviously, because it's not what you put in books, you know. But I think it's good. It covers everything that went on through the times, you know. Because obviously, with the conflict thing, you know, we was doing increased depression and stuff like that. But we was also banging it with the poll tax riots and Stonehenge, you know what I mean, and stuff like all that.
Yeah.
And we had to decide on it, the ALF stuff, Green Common, so much so, but by the time we got to Rockfield, to Ungovernable Force, we didn't even have a tune or a word. But we were so tied up playing, doing all the bits and pieces. I mean, to be honest, I think, in my view, a lot of bands now get too tied up in rehearsing, doing albums rehearsing, and they're not getting out and doing the things that we need to do. you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Practice what you preach, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, throughout the 80s, there were quite a lot of riots after your shows, and like your performances did something to people. Like the way you are on stage really injects energy into people. So, tell me a bit about that. Like, how does that feel? That must be quite like a powerful feeling. Does it ever like worry you or scare you?
I mean, I think that a lot of people at that time, there was lots of grief going on everywhere anyway, you know what I mean? And we become probably the centre point for them to come and meet, you know. I don't think so much what I was saying, I think they agreed with it anyway. The police had been rough here, done this, done that, just pissed off in general. And I can't remember where the big first one started. I think it might have been in London somewhere, and the police broke it up, and people fought back with them. And there was another big one. We had one at Surburn Assembly Halls, and I'd always end up in cells. But the police targeted us after that. We had a big one at Leeds University, big riot there, and then obviously Brixton. But yeah, many gigs they would really, they'd be there, but they'd just wait, you know what I mean, to see what happened really. But some of the good stuff that happened is because, I won't say where, but once when we was playing, the police were so busy there that the local ALF managed to go off and do their stuff. Yeah, I mean, it got heavier and heavier with the police, really. I mean, I've got pulled in tons and tons of times, you know, just driving around. But I can't remember how many times I've been there.
So you think they definitely had you on their radar to just pull you over and hassle you?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, you know, they actually told me that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we was problems to them. And I know that because I know a local cop, and he said they've been all through your album and laughing about a song about them and stuff like that. So that was okay. But after, Surburn, basically I was going around trying to take their numbers because they were beating up punks outside. And they just gave me such a kicking, it was unreal. Like back in the day when they could. So I was like, put in the van, taken back to the station, head down the toilet, the usual, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then obviously after Brixton, that's when we got banned. But we had an idea that was coming anyway. Yeah, that was the big one really.
And what did the ban do to you guys? I mean, what were the restrictions? Like, you just weren't allowed to play?
What they did at first was they used to basically get hold of every venue we'd play with, every venue we was going to play. This was before Brixton. And they'd basically speak to the owner or a licensee and say, look, remember, you know, if they objected and said, no, they'd be all right, then they'd say, remember your license comes up next year, you know what I mean? So they just use a little bit of tactics. They couldn't actually say the venue can't put them on, but we had loads of cancellations over it, obviously, like more or less, loads of tours. They just didn't want us there, you know, the local people and, you know, stuff like that. But it became official when we got officially banned with, what, Dino? It's white paper, maybe? That was after Brixton. That's the government white paper that basically said we couldn't play anywhere within the United Kingdom. Which is all right.
Okay, thanks. So what's it like now for the band? Because I know that I've turned up to gigs and you haven't been on the bill, on the flyer, but it's been known amongst the punks that you're playing and you've headlined, things like that. So is there still a need to be secretive because of the controversy around the band?
Well, to be honest with you, it's not. I mean, I haven't had any major problems with police since. I mean, I got pulled in about 3 years ago over some ALF thing. Some Beagle place was going to open up north, and they had heard it was going to get hit. And because I'm on the radar, they thought it was me. And they basically said to me that day, "You've had a good run. You've not been arrested. You've not been nicked and gone to prison. But if it is you, we're going to fit you up, and you are going to be. So stop." So, but we haven't had any problems at gigs. I mean, when we do those, I don't know which ones you mean. Some of them are because of the size of the venue.
Yeah.
Some of them are, you know, like that. But mainly, you know, with our own gigs, we've not had problems really. I like to do festivals because I'll tell you why I like doing that is because we go over to different people, and a lot of people like rebellion. A lot of people hate us. a lot of people like us, and it's mixing that up a little bit.
Yeah.
For instance, when we did punk rock bowling a few years back, a lot of the, say, punks or whatever, before they saw that, they probably thought we were some like hippie librarian bands, you know what I mean? And they saw it, and so that gets over. But what we try and do is, because we don't want people to be paying, say, 60 quid just to see Conflict at a festival if they're the only band they want. So we always try and do a local gig, you know, secret one or one that's agreed with the thing. I think festivals work because we do get over to a lot more people.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of them, they hate us, you know, but that's what it's about.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just wanted to ask you about being a vegetarian. Like, what was the turning point for you when you were younger that made you just say, like, okay, no more meat?
I painted, I was part of a company that painted a slaughterhouse in Woolwich.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and before that, didn't even think about it. I'd eat whatever was put in front of me. It's just what it was, you know. But when I went into there, I couldn't believe what I saw. It was just ridiculous, you know what I mean? And I thought, you put two and two together, but this was just ridiculously horrific, you know what I mean? It was like, nothing like it, you know.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I just thought, this is wrong. This is well wrong, you know what I mean? And it was just crazy. There was like buckets of eyes and buckets of ears, and you know what I mean? I couldn't understand it, and I couldn't get that smell off me for so long. It's really smelling it. But yeah, that was the day I just went, no, I'm not paying for that to happen. Just adjusted from there, really.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I'm vegetarian too, and then like the anarcho punk thing was a big part of it. And like one of the interviews I saw with you, you said it's good for the animal, it's good for the planet, it's good for us, and it's obviously good for the animals. And that's a really good little thing that I say to people now, because it's just so succinct. So thanks for that.
A lot of people think with our ALF stance as well, and there are some organisations. I mean, ALF is not an organisation. And that's why it can't be broken, because there's nothing to break. It's your own self. But a lot of people think that we're anti-human and stuff like that, and it's not that at all. Because if you look at the bigger picture, it does involve everybody else, but it's also anyone that needs help: weak people, sick, disabled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not. It's just natural. Personally, my view is that and I know this has been proven, like if people abusing animals, like beating their dog with a bat, they usually go on to abuse children or sick people.
Yeah.
And there is a link there. You know, a lot of people will say no, but you do get that. You get people going, oh, you're anti-human, and it's not that at all.
No, it's about compassion.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's fucking loads of humans that I don't like, but that's saying
Yeah. So the original lineup had 5 members. Now you've got 6, but there's like another 19 other drummers, bassists, guitarists, vocalists that have come in and out. So I wanted to know, like, what was your intention to keep the lineup fluid always, or what happened?
So, should we start from Conflict, right? When we started playing?
Yeah.
There was from the start. There was Big John, me, Paco started playing, and we had a guitarist called Steve Giddens. He basically had enough. I think it was after a Central America, stuff like that. You got to remember that we just did this for a little band thing at first, playing in pubs and to make parties and stuff, and then it got bigger and bigger. So that's what I think Steve bailed out first, and then we got the turning point for me was when Big John had enough. Basically, it had got big. It was a lot of pressure. Don't know what his personal reasons was, but he went, and we brought Odd in, Paul Odd, who stayed with us right until last September. He was with us 30 years. He was in District Bones. At that same time, and then the highlights for me, we brought in a guitarist called Kevin Webb, and our whole sound changed then. But I mean, when people come and go, we've either fell out or we've disagreed with things. It's not been on purpose. I mean, and the major one for me was, as I say, first of all, when Paco stopped, that was very, very hard to put back together again. And we've managed to do it. But obviously, not in that personal way, that bond that we had. that, I mean, before that, everyone that came and gone, it was kind of not easy, but not as hard as Paco was, you know. Paco is like irreplaceable. And it's like, again, with Oddie, I mean, girl, female singers that's come and gone, it's just the way it is, really. Yeah. I mean, there's no major thing, but I'm not really, this lineup now has taken, I mean, don't get me wrong, Gav's been in the band, what, 11 years, Gav King. Stu's been in 3. Got a guy called Fran that's replaced Doddy, and he's amazing, but it took time to, you know, to get him up to speed. And we've got a new girl called Fee, which is amazing. Yeah, really good. I mean, yeah, to me, it's the best yet.
Excellent, nice one. Yeah, so it'd be really cool to hear everybody on the new album then.
Yeah, I think we hit, I mean, everyone said that anyone that saw us over the last 2 years at festivals have said, wow, you know, you're in a peak now. And that's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to get that set to its maximum potential, but with members coming and going, it's taken so long to nail it right, you know, but I think we've got there now.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of reformed punk bands and other punk bands that are still going from that, you know, the 80s and 70s, but everybody, all the punks know, like, oh, you know, they haven't got it anymore, or they're like they're not the same as they were, but like everybody packs out your gigs and the energy is definitely there. It's still there, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I mean, to be honest with you, there's no game plan with me. I just do what goes on. But the minute I can't do the way I want to do it, I'd stop. Because I mean, I ain't going to mention any names, but I've been to see bands Rebellion about 10 years ago, and I was like, oh my god. It upset me, really, looking at them thinking, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
One of the wankers, you know what I mean? But they weren't putting any effort in. I mean, people that have seen us, that haven't seen us, say Jello Biafra, Punk Rock Bowling, he just goes, that's the best I've ever seen you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From Exploited at Scotland Calling, who's never seen us before, and he loved it. He said, amazing. So it's different people, you know?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's true, it's true. So we talked a little bit about the police and how they treated you, but I wanted to talk about how the media treated you, because you did have a bit of a hard time with them as well. So what was your experience dealing with the media? And I know you weren't a fan of interviews for a long time.
I mean, that was what caused a little, well, not division, but we started doing, like, so shall we say, interviews with Punk Lives and Sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some of those bands just wouldn't touch it. But I just thought it was necessary. And I knew we'd get portrayed wrong in some places, you know what I mean? And some of the interviews were good. Oh, James? Cut out.
Oh.
Can't see her.
See me?
I can hear you, I can't see you.
Oh, I can still see you and hear you if you want to carry on. It's still recording.
Yeah, okay, that'll do, yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. We can just carry on, James. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so we've done a lot of interviews, and I wouldn't be, and I still won't be photographed unless I'm on stage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did one for NME, we did a great interview, and they said, so we can take pictures of the banners, and they said, I've got it in the wall now, actually. He said, we need some life in it, so I put my dog in a chair. So there you go, that was on the front page of NME. Like, those post pictures I just don't like, you know what I mean? It's like, if there's a meaning behind a post picture, then fair enough, you know? I mean, I've said most of our interviews, we've been represented all right. They always change it a little bit, you know? But I got really caught out by the News of the World once over class war, and it was stupid of me. I usually wouldn't fall for it. I got an undercover reporter interviewing me as a fanzine, and it ended up on the front page of the Sun, News of the World, and on the magazine and everything, yeah. So that was
great.
Yeah. I remember being up north at a gig and my sister ringing going, have you spoken to your father? I was like, no. She went, don't. And I was on the front. Yeah, it is what it is. Most people, we got a great review. On the last one, I'll be honest, on the Ungovernable Force sold itself, it was just ridiculous. And we didn't know why it sold so much, it just did.
Yeah.
But on the There's No Power, we actually got a press agent called Work Hard. And they did really well there. It got everywhere. And some of the reviews, like that one in the Sunday Times, believe it or not, it was great. And then other ones, obviously, they put it down. They don't understand it. They get, think it's a noise, whatever, But to me, as long as they're right about it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, exactly. It spreads no news. What's the thing? No news is good news, something like that.
Yeah, I think
no publicity is bad publicity. That's it.
Well, some other people have said to me in the band, I got slagged off, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's when they stop talking about you, you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I deliberately dangle little carrots on the Facebook thing. I don't go on there much, but I dangle a carrot and I walk away and laugh.
Just get them talking. Yeah, it's the best way.
Yeah, just get them debating stuff, But obviously on there, you don't get very sensible debates much.
No, you don't. Nobody listens to anyone on there. So, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the first time you saw Crass and when you first joined the scene, and how influential was Steve Ignorant on you when you first saw him play live?
Well, he's got a whole chapter in the book called The Steve Ignorant Experience.
Oh, great.
Basically, because of where I live, which is close to Bromley, people said we was very fortunate. I didn't think we was fortunate, but we've got people around here. We've got Susie Out Banshees, Billy Idol. It was all from Bromley, and everybody kind of mixed and that, and they played Paul in their flats and stuff like that in my flat. But I started going to, I think Banshees was one of my favourite bands. Pistols weren't playing, so yeah, Banshees. I used to see Banshees a hell of a lot. I still got a hell of a lot of time for them. But mainly I started seeing the Clash all the time. I think it was in Manchester. I was only very young. There's a picture of me looking up at Steve, Master of Bugle. So I saw the Clash one week, and then I saw Crass the next week. But with Crass, it was just, I don't know, it was totally different.
Yeah.
I just met Steve. I don't think the others like me, but I met Steve and we kind of clicked, and then we ended up, I'd go literally everywhere to see him. There was me, Stig from the Icons of Filth, and Ian, who was in the cult.
Yeah.
We'd go everywhere, sleeping in doorways in Scotland, everywhere. Just
Cool.
really like. And then obviously the Clash started going, in my view, didn't really like what I'm doing, playing anymore. I have respect for them, we'll do their own thing, but not a cup of tea anymore, So Crash became the main thing. Crash and Boys and Girls. And yeah, I can't remember how many years, lots of years, we'd go literally everywhere we possibly could. And then obviously we started our conflict thing around that time as well. And it just went from there, really. I think I saw Crash right up until more or less the end, from more or less the start. And I saw Steve at Shepherd's Bush Empire once. That's it, I'm there, yeah.
Yeah, and what were some of the other bands that you were touring with a lot in those days? Were you close with like Subhumans, Flux, bands like that?
Very, very close with, Flux Pink Indians. I got very, very close, and I still am best mates with him. I'll see him last week, actually.
Good bloke, yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I just said the guy from Flux seems like a really good bloke.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, well, with him Saturday, speaking on the phone earlier, so he was, I'll be totally honest with you, Andrew and I didn't really like much of the Subhumans, yeah. A lot of the Crash bands that went out wasn't my cup of tea. I like the Epileptics before that. Flux, I thought, was good up until a certain point when, in my view, when Sid went, Don't want to slag off bands, I don't know. So Subhumans, Rebella Ballet, who we played with all the time. We toured together for years, and we've stayed that close. Us and Rebella Ballet was really, really early, 82. And we've done a hell of a lot of gigs together, and we're going to do it again. Icons of Filth as well.
Yeah.
Main touring partners, because obviously, Stig died, and now Calvin is his son. I got very, very close with Calvin, who's in a band called Grand Collapse, and they're amazing, really good. From that side of things, there was Crass. I loved Boys and Girls. I thought they were very good. Anyone else that stood to me? Flux, Subhumans, not really, without,
So Yeah, you mentioned earlier that like Billy Idol and Susie Sue used to come around and play pool. I mean, like, what were they like back then? And I mean, what do you think of, you know, the careers they went on to have were really like bloody mainstream, weren't they? What do you think of all of that?
She didn't play pool, but she lives close here, so
Yeah.
Hong Kong Garden about the local Chinese up there.
Really, that's cool.
And Christine, about a girl called Christine Jones, who was one of the album parts with us. So it was not standoffish. She only came once, Billy Idol. I mean, I didn't really get on great with him, but yeah, they've done very, very well. But yeah. Susie, obviously, with the Pistols, but I just really liked that early Banshee thing. I really liked, and I see them loads, and I saw them at Royal Albert Hall, and I thought, yeah, she still cut this, but she won't do it. I mean, she's been offered an open check by so many festivals, and she's not there, which is a shame because she's still got it. Yeah, definitely got a lot going on. Bands from that area. I don't know. So I mean, a lot of people was into different bands, but I think because we was not spoiled, but in London we had them, we had the Clash. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had a lot of gigs going on, so we missed out on, or didn't pay. From my point of view, I had certain few, and then I was so busy doing them that I missed out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned earlier that like you saw Queen at Wembley Stadium when you were much younger. I mean, that must have been an amazing gig. Did that have a big effect on you, or did you later dislike that sort of stuff?
My sister, I mean, it didn't have an effect. Well, it had an effect that I couldn't believe that was that. Because I was young, I'd never seen that many people at a concert.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's about it, really. I mean, yeah, I like some of their stuff. But yeah, I mean, at the time, right over the head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it didn't speak to you like the anarcho stuff and the punk stuff did later.
Well, I used to pose as Freddie Mercury with Carpet Sweep.
Excellent.
Like the way he moves. Admit that, but yeah. But that was, but no, it didn't. No. I mean, none of that hit home really until, you know, the punk stuff really changed it for me. You know, the first time I heard, you know, Spunk, the demo to Never Mind the Bollocks, that's when everything really changed for me. I just forgot everything that was past, and yeah, I mean, you know, that sounds corny, but it totally changed everything about me, totally.
Yeah, definitely. And so Steve Ignorant, he featured on To a Nation of Animal Lovers in 1983, and he collaborated with you guys, and then he later joined Conflict. I mean, how did you view him at that time? What was it like to have someone you kind of looked up to joining your band?
I mean, Steve was always really, really down to earth, and he still is, especially with me. I don't know what happened, you know, as he said in his interview, we met, we wasn't shy, it just kind of clicked, we felt great together, you know, and he came all the way from where he lived to see our very first gig in April 81 at Sri Lanka, which was nice, you know, and before all that, being in Conflict, he used to come over here, he stayed here loads, met my mum and dad and been out, you know, so it was kind of a friendly thing.
Yeah.
It was his choice to get us the first single on Crass and stuff, Crass Records, and then obviously get To a Nation Mammal. I think we really clicked then, and we did Birch Come Together, which he wrote most of, but line by line, and then that fell into place. We thought this works, you know what I mean? And it wasn't years later, you know, that we did that. The Gathering of 5,000 together, where we did a lot of Crash stuff and stuff like that, and Conflict stuff, and it worked really, really well. And then once we got in and started recording, you know, Final Conflict Against All Odds and that, we realised quite how good it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, at that time it was running fast and furious, so, you know, yeah. But no, we've always been there. But who knows? I mean, I know someone asked him in an interview the other day if we do any more, and he said, look, we both do our own things, but never say never, and that's the way I feel, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
I think he agreed. If we do anything, it won't be like a lot of Crash stuff or a lot of Conflict. It'll be the stuff we've done together, because there's loads of tracks we've never played live, and maybe some other stuff. But if it is, in my view, I would only want to do it one here, one in America, and then end it, you know, just around that side of things. I'd rather do new stuff with him, if anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just when the time's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a bit about your involvement in like the early Stop the City marches. Like, what was it like? And did you get sick of it after a while? Because I think Steve said to me that in an interview that you ended up going to so many protests and things like that that you started saying to each other like, I wish I was just down the pub. Like, I can't sort of carry the world's weight of all these protests all the time, you know?
I mean, I think for me, I mean, there was loads of little ones that I preferred. Stop the City was okay. It wasn't really, you know, we had a part of it, but not a lot of part of it, you know. But with us, we was more, and obviously, you know, Crash didn't agree with it, but we was more the breakaway groups because, you know, we're more, how should I say, direct, you know. So we'd break away and do stuff like that. Stop the City was different, but obviously, the city started the next morning again. That was very, very big. I stopped going on demos because obviously, you know, we was being filmed everywhere, and because I was personally doing so much outside of the demos on the direct action front. I didn't want 2 and 2 to be together. I didn't want to be associated with certain marches, animal marches or anything like that. In my view, the demos, done, you know, the normal demos, not Stop the City. They did a bit of good, but I don't think that marching up and down, giving out leaflets is really going to change it. Was really going to change a lot at that time. Whereas with our view, with the ALF view, we really was making a big impact at one stage. So much that they changed the law because I was losing. But no, I stopped going on. I mean, we've been and hijacked a couple just to manage to get the upper hand for a day, and we attacked the Countryside Alliance March a few years ago, but you know, as in walking around the streets demonstrating, no, I don't think it's good to be, for me personally, to be associated with it. You know, keep out of that way.
Yeah.
When we did, you know, when we used to meet years ago, there was me, Ronnie Lee, Vivian. They had a place above the BUAV in Islington, and because of the approach of the ALF. BUAV disagreed with it because, you know, we was very, very direct, you know, that's just how we did it. And so that there was a division opened up, and that division's still there. There's a lot of people that say, no, that's wrong, what you're doing is wrong. But that's just the way we saw it. And as I say, it was having a ridiculous impact. And they were losing big time now at one stage. And then they started, you know, they changed the law and started giving people 18 years, you know. It's an animal thing. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that some of the punks were like throwing paint up the houses of people who experimented on animals, and some people were like getting jobs in animal testing facilities to take photos and sort of spy. Can you tell me about like some of the stuff like that? Can you remember some of the protests that were done like that?
Yeah, the ones that we've done. I'm not definitely known for. I mean, basically, what we used to do. We used to hit very, very hard, especially on establishments and stuff like that, to do with the meat industry and the vivisection thing. I mean, basically, after some gigs, I won't say what gigs, but with, you know, me and Steve, who I couldn't put in it because he's dead, so he won't mind. He just went to a place down in Devon and basically did every lorry that was there, all the tyres for the morning and stuff like that. So it's kind of an urban sabotage thing for us. Obviously, we did the direct liberation things as well, like breaking into the puppy breeding farms in Wales, and broke into vivisectionists, as you know, laboratories, rescued animals directly. I can say that, I can say that because, so that was what we did. You know what I mean? It would be a case of going in, you know, getting them out. You know, some terrible, terrible things inside there that I never thought that I would ever see in vivisection places. And it's hard. I mean, I've had some great moments, brilliant moments, but there's also been some very harsh moments because you have to leave a lot of animals behind, obviously. But then after that got really, really, really on top, they was all over us at one stage then. After we got away with a lot, and we did get away with an awful lot, then it became more of an urban sabotage thing, which would be to cut off all suppliers to anybody. If you couldn't get to them direct, you basically get hold of their suppliers and say, look, you really should be supplying them down to new rolls or whatever. So everything would have that knock-on effect, But there's a lot of people got a hell of a lot of prison over it,
Yeah, amazing. That's incredible, man. So good that you did that.
Yeah, very, very rewarding. Very amazingly rewarding, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so you said you've had points changed in the law. You've, freed a lot of animals. Do you have any standout moments that you're like really proud of?
I can say.
Yeah.
Well, basically, one of the best moments was, and I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, was the look on a dog's face when I went to the cage and got him out, and he realised I wasn't going to hurt him anymore. No one was going to hurt him,
Oh, yeah.
On the bad side of things, and I'll be totally honest with you, when we went and did one, we could only get so many in the van. We didn't quite know how many was in there, so we basically put the rest down because it was really hard to do. It was better than what they were going to go through,
Yeah.
Highlights in that really. We was always. A lot of people say nothing's changed. A lot changed. A hell of a lot changed. Because you've only got to look at, for instance, animal testing stuff now. A lot of people are saying, no, we're not using that. We use that. Companies.
Yeah.
Obviously, vivisection still goes on. They protect it with a fortress. It's like pharmaceutical units. It's worth billions. So they were going to protect it at all costs.
Yeah.
Highlights. There's still highlights. Really, it's not like a past thing, but actually going and getting them was highlight. Yeah.
Definitely. No, it's amazing.
I think people that do abuse animals, even on a social level, they're beginning to not do it with as much confidence now because they know there's people out there, that will come back up.
Yeah, you raise awareness.
Yeah, and also, it's nice. It's great we've done dog fighting games and stuff like that, and it's great to get the dogs off them as well, but it's rewarding. But again, it's one of those that you can't do. You meet what you get, you get accordingly. Some people said that was over the top, but if you're walking into a dog fighting gang, and you can't just go, please, you're giving them dogs. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, definitely. So, what did you hate most about Thatcher's Britain? There's a long list, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't think of most of it, all of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it, really. I was slagged off when. Obviously we did loads of things against Thatcher and stuff like that. But when the IRA blew up on a single, when the IRA blew them up in Brighton, I did say, and I think it's on a single on a wall, I did say that it's very, very sad that things have had to come to that level. But at the same time, I'm disappointed it didn't annihilate the fucking lot of them.
Yeah.
You have to remember that a lot of people go even when she died and stuff like that, but you've got to remember that woman did a hell of a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Minor strikes and stuff like that. It's like just beyond belief what she did. So a lot of people will always hate that. There's a bit written in the book. It's just outrageous that some. What you tend to find is either some people haven't got the bottle to challenge it, or they're comfortable, they're well off with it, because they're doing all right.
Yeah, I'm all right, Jack, kind of.
We still find that now,
Yeah. And then, how did you end up clashing with the military?
The military, where?
Like the British military, like you had a clash with them. You write about it in your songs and.
Oh, where was that, in Exeter?
Yeah.
Oh, that was where we played in Exeter St George's Hall. I don't know why. Maybe we was targeted by skinheads that was in the Portsmouth, like the naval thing or whatever. And they just tons of them just broke into the back of the hall and started going for it. But to be honest, they got a shock because everybody just turned on them, But that's the only time they've really come for us, anything like that, And I think it was just maybe there was some British movement or skinheads in them, whatever, who wound it up, but there was a lot of them,
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that must have been scary anyway.
Well, we've had loads of them at gigs, really. If it's, we've had different troubles at different places. I mean, I won't lie, at the early Crest gigs, there was lots of trouble then, but I always used to, I'd be one fighting back, and some of the people that was with Crest or supporting Crest at the time would be like, you're just as bad as them, and I'm like, sorry, in my view, I'm not going to let them. There was one incident when there was about 6 of them kicking shit out of this fucking kid, this Asian kid, and I went in hard and stopped it. But to me, that's right. And everyone else is saying, "Oh, you're as bad as them," and that's the whole difference between the pacifist view and what we do.
Yeah. So did you find it hard? Like, did you feel like when the scene was splitting between like pacifism and like activism, did you feel like you were in the middle of that? Was that a tough time to go through?
I mean, I think there was a time when the Crash thing came out, probably Stations or something like that, and that's when it was really bad with the BN. I mean, every day was down there smashing up, more or less every Crash gig it would kick off, and there was a few of us that just thought, no, we're gonna stop them. You know what I mean? So when they started, we'd fight back hard, and then most people respected it. I think in a way I got too protective of Steve and Crass, so I might have took it on ourselves a little bit too much to be there. And I think other members of Crass thought that, leave it, and sort itself out, But yeah, I mean, there's not a major difference. I mean, in my view, there wasn't that many pacifists around at the time, and there certainly isn't now. I mean, this whole fight back thing at conflict gigs started very early. Our own gig, it started very early, so, and I think, probably because they realised, and it stopped really quickly. I mean, we only had one bit of trouble with the British movement, or whatever they're called, was Putney White Lion, right back in the day, and that was organised because by the time we got there was at least 200 downstairs in the bar.
Yes.
The tube stations and everything, to stop punks getting there.
Oh God, yeah.
We managed to get out of there before playing, just about, when it was weird. I had a bit of a confrontation at the van, and then they threw bricks at the van and it got smashed up. And to be honest with you, after that we came back, and I think that's after Reese and John went, because it was a little bit, it was an naughty one,
Yeah.
And I won't say who, but some family members went, "What's this about?" And I told them, and they went, "So what? They come to your gigs and smash it up?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what, just when they come?" I went, "Yeah." And I went, "Well, this has got to be sorted." Yeah. So that's when I actually realised, because with anything else, you've got your foot soldiers and you've got your top people. Around here, we had people like Nicky Crane from Welling on the Strength for All thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bigger than him. There's the big political people bigger than that. But they was all basically talked to over it, and this stops now. You can't. Yeah, we're going to do something. We're doing it now. Don't wait until the gig. And that was that attitude that we had with them, and they just, they backed down basically. They've not come near. We've not had any problems since.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Crazy stories, man. It's really cool to talk to you. So I've just got a few more questions left for you. So I wanted to ask a bit about the record label, Mortar Hate Records. So you put out bands like Hagar the Womb, Icons of Filth, Lost Cherries, The Apostles. What was your experience of running a label like?
I loved the products coming out, but the actual accounting of it and how it works is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Ungovernable Force made a ridiculous amount of money because it sold over $250,000. But the other band, it basically paid for all that, the studios, this, that, and the other. And I don't think that, 99.9% of people that's been on it are grateful for that chance that they've been on it. Like I am with Crass. I'm not interested in what they do with it or what they make out of it. I thank them for doing that for me, But you do go, for instance, where did all the money go? You have to do all the accounting and that. For instance, there was a thing called the Warzone Collective, and I put out a record Stella 17 Toxic Waste for those at $1.99 in the shops. When I said their sales, I couldn't understand why there was this big thing going on for years. I ripped them off, and they actually thought that I get $1.99 from the shop. So I had to point out, no, I don't. The shop takes 33% of that. The distributor takes 33% of that. then the pressing plant I have to pay for, you know what I mean? But it's easy to make. People look at that and think, oh, you know, we sold 6,000 at 199. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. No, it's
there's a problem with that, you know. It's been great, you know. And although we've still got them on our label and stuff like that, then I've said to every band, use it at will, you know. We've not got do we like with it, you know. We've done some comps with it and it's still on our label, then recordings, but they're more than welcome just put it out themselves and recordings.
Yeah. And then do you guys have like a problem with your royalties and stuff? Because I know like Crass said that all their royalties are like so messed up that they nobody's even got anything for years. Like, do you guys have that problem too?
To be honest with you, I've never done publishing or anything like that. So when we done the Crass deal, you basically could take they offered us just two different splits. One was you could get a mechanical royalty, which is so much, you know, or you could get a bigger split of the profits, you know. So for instance, on the singles, we could just got a mechanical royalty, which comes to next to nothing, but that would replace publishing, which I didn't even know what it was. On It's Time to Zoo, for instance, we get 70, we got 70-30 split in our favour after costs, you know. Sold loads and loads and loads. But I didn't understand what publishing actually was until we moved from Jungle to Cherry Red distribution. And that's where this big thing came, what Steve was on about in his book, which I won't go into. But because we had the live album of Steve, which covered Crash songs, they just wrote all those songs down. You know?
Oh, yeah, so it got messed up.
I mean, as for it being, I mean, it isn't Steve's fault, but as for Southern saying it was thousands of pounds, it was under £300, which was paid. It was a genuine, it wasn't, you know.
It was a mistake, yeah. Genuine.
Of those tracks. But publishing, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't realise what publishing brings in. I mean, we didn't, because we had our own record label at the time, we just didn't do that, you know.
Yeah.
Understand about, I mean, I only heard about PRS recently, and, you know, bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, when it's played on telly, you get money and stuff, I didn't know. I mean, when first time Cherry Red sent me a statement for, I couldn't believe it, it was like that thick. And this, that, and the other, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'd never done it, didn't understand it, you know. And that was what, that's where the little problem lied, really. But it's quite strange because I got to down to Moorhay over the years, and we have had some bands who obviously weren't happy, looking back now, and we should have paid us publishing then. But it's the same, you know, it was when it breaks even, same as anything else, you know, you get money. But I mean, what a lot of bands didn't remember, and probably the closest selling to us was Icons of Filth, is that Conflict sold thousands and thousands. You know, basically Conflict was right place, right time. We weren't special, but the Aston Man bill just went ridiculous. To a Nation of Man, what others did. Then It's Time to Zoo was silly, couldn't be fast, couldn't be pressed quick enough. You know what I mean? And all them raced straight to #1 of the Indies. And Pressure, you know, they just really, really sold. But then you'd have a massive gap, you know. And it's hard to say to them, well, look, this is the reason, you know. But when you've got something that's selling, say, 30, 40,000, and then a record going out and selling 2,000, there's a big difference.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. So, like running the record label, you saw all of that, and then you had the band sort of complaining to you like they didn't understand it.
Obviously, we know what we're pressing, and pressing can't do pressing, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, the indie chart thing should have said itself really what was going on, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just I don't know why we were so different. As I say, I think right place, right time. So when we went, our best-selling album by far is Undone Force, and when we went to Rockford, we didn't have a tune or a lyric, just did it there.
Yeah,
you know? Not that we've tried. It's like I say to anyone else. They said, "Well, how come it's so successful?" It wasn't meant to be. You did it. If you're feeling it, you do it, don't you?
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you like catch a wave with what everyone else is thinking at that time, then that's how it goes, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong. I was like thinking, "Wow, this is big. This is getting really big, and it's hard to handle." Before Ungovernable Force, and then when that came out, I couldn't believe it. I mean, Morris quoted in his book, he likes me, but he hates Conflict because it's stopped him ever getting a #1 album between this days.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's crazy, isn't it? Really.
Considering it was our own label and they was on Rough Trade, you know what I mean? Anna Smith.
Yeah. No,
we
definitely.
went in at number 1, stayed there for 8 weeks, and he was at number 2, yeah. But it just, like, you know, I couldn't comprehend. I was thinking, why is this album split so much?
It's like,
It was new at that time. You know, it was like all the nights were going on, and it's not a concept album, but it was it was exactly what we've been through start to finish. But as for it selling that many, who would know? Who would know? I was like, wow. And it still sells. It's crazy. It outsells most new albums.
yeah, no, it's amazing. And it's like little mentions like the Morrissey book and things like that that make you realise like the far-reaching influence it had that you might not be able to see from your own perspective. Like you just get a glimpse of like how Morrissey felt about it and you're like, what the fuck?
I found out too later, it's like there's a festival called Woodstock.
Yeah.
And the guy that created that, he created that because he was inspired by ungovernable force. And it's like when I went to America a few years ago, there used to be a thing called Animal Acres, which is just animals that have been rescued, and that was by it too. You know, there's a lot of ALF people like Rob Colorado and stuff like that. He was influenced by This Is the ALF. Yeah, it's weird sometimes but it was real. You know what I mean? It's just we just said what we were thinking. Yeah. But it was very, very strange. I mean, the nearest one anywhere near that would have been the last one. There's No Power, but only a tenth of those sales. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nice. It's amazing. So you're still selling a lot of records. So like with the book, I mean, it's really exciting that you got this book coming out. I know that you've been thinking about it for a while. You wanted to tell your side of the story. So, I mean, has it brought out some memories that you'd sort of forgotten, like going through your life and writing about it? I mean, what are some of the best days of conflict?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, because the whole thing is from when I started in punk as well and up to date, and all the movement stuff, all the conflict stuff, you know, because there's so much, I found it incredibly hard to put it together. Not like an album. You know, with an album, I'll go in, I'll get all the music together, then I'll get the lyrics, and you know, that's easy. No, it's been very, very hard, and I took some advice off Steve. I'm lucky because I've got a ghostwriter.
Yeah, good, yeah.
It doesn't change anything, you know what I mean? He knows I won't have that, you know. If they advise, no, you need to leave that bit out, then I'll leave it out. I won't change anything, you know. So, yeah, that happens now and again. And at first, I got the start of it, and then I got lots of great quotes off people. You know, people that, I did it on purpose, people that wouldn't usually quote in that. I mean, you know, I lied, and obviously, but I've got Tom York from Radiohead, Chris from Muse, just different people, Dave Grant. People that's been not associated, but we know of and they know of us, you know. And I thought that way, you know. They're the little quotes, yeah. But the start of it was all right. It's just remembering all the things. So, I mean, unfortunately, because Paco died, he had a ridiculous. He had a brilliant brain. He could remember anything, anywhere, anytime. So what I basically doing then is because it was just too much for me to do, and I'm not tech-headed, as you know. I just basically used to think about it and just put post-its on the wall and then go back to it, you know. Because it's 2 minutes too much. You know, especially, I mean, I forget half of it and someone says, do you remember? I'm like, no.
Yeah, of course. And that's a good way to do it, because sometimes you're just sitting there and something will pop in your head and you'll be like, oh my God, I missed that out. You know, you got to put it in. So
No, gone back. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's too much for it. It's 10 chapters, 30 chapters, 40,000 words, but we could fill it 4 times.
Yeah.
You know? As I say, I wanted it to be positive. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the society itself and authority itself gets annihilated, but as for other bands and that, I've not mentioned, you know, I'd rather not, you know, because it's just damaging what we're all about. Well, if I disagree with blah blah over something, I'm not going to slaughter them or crucify them like they have me, because it's self-destructive.
Yeah, of course. No, you want to be bigger than that. That's cool.
Yeah, do their way. At least they're doing something. I'm not being big-headed or whatever, but if I say slaughter that band, a lot of people that like conflict ain't going to listen to them or go to their gigs anymore. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
We had a big fallout with the Exploited years ago when I did, but it wasn't even a fallout because we never met. And now we're really, me and Morty are really close. We actually speak more than I spoke to anybody else, and he's like a real person. You know, it's like he's down to earth. He's got his own beliefs. He basically, we saw punk in a different way, but that's it, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's one of the most honest, nice people I've met, which is a shock because we hated one another.
Yeah, it's always the way, man.
Yeah.
So just wanted to ask you a little bit about your album that you're working on now. We talked about it briefly earlier, but I mean, you mentioned that this is going to be the final album. Is that right?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, let's put it this way. We've been touring off the back catalogue and playing since, well, we haven't released something since 2003. So I can't, I don't know, well, I'll probably be dead if another 10 years after that. But yeah, I'm seeing it as that. Never say never, but I'm not someone that will go, it's over, and there's a nice final track on it, you know, that kind of says that. But it's not over for me as in what's what. I'll always be there and be getting on with it outside of things. But yeah, I would say it is, yeah.
Yeah. And can you tell me a bit about the final track on the album?
I can play you it later if you want.
Yeah, okay, that'd be cool.
There was a track on Ungovernable Force at the end of that called "Continue to Be Continued."
Yeah.
With on a piano, just mucking about, and Paco Sister sang it. Well, this is called "Continued," and it's a remix. It's not a remix; it's a remake of that.
Okay.
Really good. I'll play you later.
Yeah.
A few words. But yeah, it's like with this stuff, because I don't know if you know, but since Foot I was always doing a lot of the music anyway, but since Foot I've done all of it, you know. So what I like to get that music ready first, before anything, and I don't record like normal bands, you know, I'll go in and I'll get some music, I'll get the demos done, and then I'll go in and we'll get all the layers of the music done, rough mix, take that away, see if that's okay. Then think about lyrics, you know. Then I mean, it's a long process, but I like, you know, make it as layered and big as possible. But yeah, the thing is for me is make every track better than Power, which has been hard. But it is, yeah. I think Power to me is one of my favourite ones because it came out of the traps and it was really. This is too, yeah.
Definitely. And is it costing a lot to make this new album?
Well, it will do. At the moment, it's not because we've been doing it here, there, and everywhere. We just, you know, I mean, some of the demos. I did a great demo in Chicago because we made it at a studio. Some of them have just been done here. But the intention is to go back to Rockfield, which will cost.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like Ungovernable Force. I think it cost us £14,000 then for 2 weeks. Wow. But we should have gone with some tunes. such a great, you know, it's a good sound. I mean, you know, when I've produced other bands, they've gone, really? We're going to do it in a day. I'm like, I'll spend a day on your drum sound, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. Because I'll do it all analog, and then it bounces to the computer. But I won't have to cut and paste in and layer guitars either. You've got to play it again. It's like, you know, when I did the Drum Bones thing, and I made Bones do 7 tracks playing, and he said, can't you cut and paste? I went, no, I keep playing them, because everyone's different, and it gives it that big wall of sound, you know, so you get that first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, take your time. Yeah, I'd say you know, it's going to cost, but I want it to be bang on.
Yeah, no, exactly. You got to do it right. So, like, are there any bands that I mean, are you a big music fan yourself now? Do you listen to a lot of new bands?
I'll be honest with you, a lot of people say to me, that's when I post stuff, that's not really punk. I'll listen. If it's good, it's good. I like it. If it's shit, I don't. Whether it's punk, blah, 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 it could be Robbie Williams, Madonna, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's shit. But if I like it, it's good. Yeah, right across the board. I mean, a lot of people do get surprised when we drove around in vans and I'm like, no, turn this off. I'm like, what? No, but yeah. I mean, I don't limit myself to any type of music. It's just if I hear a good sound, it's good. It's not. Yeah. You know, there's great bands out there, you know. A lot of new bands out there. As I said, Brown Collapse are amazing. Calvin's band, and there's a lot in America. Obviously, you know, there's a lot you play with. I always find that some of the first bands on, in my view, should be on last or higher up the board. I mean, bands at the moment I really rate. Restart, Sick on the Bus.
Biff. I like Sick on the Bus.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas some, I'm not going to say who, but some of the other bands I've gone, it's just not it anymore, you know.
Yeah. What do you think of bands like Sleaford Mods, Idols? Do you like them at all?
I've only heard Sleaford Mods a little bit quite recently. I think it was when I was in America in September. I'd heard of them, but yeah, it's different. They've got their own way of doing things, don't they?
Yeah.
I think that's important. We can't all do things exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I type. I mean, Discharge are good now. They're really good now. Went for a stage I didn't like. Yeah, I mean, there's no bands. I mean, I haven't played with Bella Ballet for years. I'm looking forward to playing with those. Don't really, and this other band, Backstreet Abortions, we can be playing with those quite a bit as well. But I've always said, I mean, Subhumans are still great, but they're good every time you see them, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
With us, it's either diabolical or it's great. It depends on the mood, but they're really good, and I get on really well with them still. But bands from the area, I don't really see much. Don't go to a lot of gigs either. But to me, I would rather play with a load of different bands than a load of not conflict bands, a load of like punkish bands that are the same as us. I'd rather play with someone they're two different crowds, you know.
Yeah.
Even down to say like Sick on the Bus with Conflict, that'd be better than say Conflict and whoever back in the day, you know, because they're exactly the same. Exactly the same crowd.
Yeah, definitely. You want to mix it up a bit, do something different.
I think that's important, really.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I really enjoyed talking to you. So I just got one last question, really. I just wanted to ask you how you feel about the lockdown and how you're getting on.
With the lockdown, to be honest with you, I mean, most people know, and it's quite uncanny because Joe got that way. I'm not reclusive, but I don't really socialise or go out much unless I'm playing.
Yeah.
It hasn't affected me that much because nothing's changed. The only thing that's obviously really bad is a lot of people I know dying from it and stuff like that. We've had a lot of it here. Obviously, us very much because we hadn't played for 6 months due to replacing Oddie. That was from when I got back from USA in September. We was due to start March 21st, and then this happened. So
yeah,
we're a little bit. I think tonight we've meant to be in Prague. I think So you look at that, but then again you weigh that up with people dying. The only thing I would say is that people seem to be. I don't know. It seems to become accepted. It's like 700 died a day. You're not getting 30,000 people with this. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It's like when when you got knife crime in London years ago. It'd be like if someone got stabbed. It's terrible. Now on the news, you just ignore it because it happens so much. It's like that already.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I mean, But yeah. So basically, we just got to see. We've been told by our agent in Germany we'll be going out in October and November, but just see how it goes.
Yeah. No, definitely. You just got to play it by ear, really.
I mean, I stopped watching the news and all these theories and that. I mean, we're careful because, I've had pleurisy and stuff like that and the chest. My boy's got asthma, so we're careful. But I disagree with some of the stuff they're saying and I don't, so we just do it our own way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's not much else you can do. You just got to,
everyone's got their different views, and our other family members have gone to me, no, that's wrong. And I'm like, well, I've tried to explain my view of it. You walk, for instance, you walk into one shop here, and they've only just changed it as well. Up until about 2 weeks ago, you could scan as many as you like, but still, you can go down, say, the garage on the corner, you queue up, one at a time, 4 at a time. You can go 500 yards that way and go in as you like. There's no blanket thing.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think I feel that around here as well. It's like if you go out, then some people will just walk right up to you, and other people will just some people are just sort of really ignorant, and other people are respectful of it.
Well, that's the weird one. I don't know what to do. When I'm walking around and I see people I know, obviously here, and so I don't know whether to move out of the way or not, whether they think I'm being funny. So, you, not me,
Yeah.
I'm going to see Sid again later, but when I went to see Sid, obviously it was really hard because I took him some supplies. and I couldn't touch him or anything because he's really bad, isn't he? Yeah, so but I mean, what can you do? I'm not going to risk giving him anything, you know what I mean? Especially him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got to stick with it for now and know that in the future we'll be back to normal.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not, well, it depends what you call essential, but we're not exactly fluent in it, but I'm not sticking to going out once a day or anything like that. I don't go near loads of people to harm, you know, that I could harm or anything like that, but
yeah. So is your son musical?
Yeah, not into what I'm into though.
Oh really? He's into different kind of music.
My daughter's not into conflict. Shit the bed band. She's more into, you know, she's been through so much and she's bang on the level herself. Like years ahead of me. I mean, she started years ago and she's been through all the, you know, the Muse, the Radioheads and Arcade Fire and that and Beck and loads of people I don't even know. Not interested in conflict.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do, rebel, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because one of her friends from ages and ages ago got hold of her and went, "Jerwood, is your dad Colin?" And she went, "Yeah, why?" She went, "Oh my God," and she hated it, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, she respects what we say. But yeah, no, it's not. She did say she wanted to see one concert once. We'll see.
yeah. You have to see about that one.
Yeah.
So what have you got planned for your birthday tonight then? Anything special?
I was gonna, I don't know, go to a couple of clubs.
Get down on the dance floor.
I'm gonna do this, then we're gonna go over to East London and just see some bits and pieces. That's it really. I think I've got doing one with for an American guy later, just a small one. I can't remember what it is. He's made one of these things on Skype. So
yeah,
that's it really.
Yeah, no, nice one, mate. Well, I hope you have a lovely birthday. And yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for chatting to me. And like, you're very welcome to come down and have a pint with us at Viva La Rock. I mean, when we're in the office, we always go down the pub on a Friday. So yeah.
Right. I was going to come to, I think it might have been the party you had before last.
Yeah.
He couldn't come that day.
Oh,
so
okay.
I couldn't end up going, yeah. And then this one got cancelled, didn't it? Was it this year? I don't know, yeah. But yeah, no, I will, definitely. That'd be good.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, there's loads coming up. I mean, we got the awards what got cancelled, but we're going to do them hopefully in November, and Steve's going to be at that. So, you know, yeah, just keep in touch, man.
Steve, is that geezer that wrote all that crap about me in that book?
Yeah, that's him. He's your brother.
It's quite funny because when he said that, I said, I actually phoned him. I said, if she asked me about the trail, you know what I'm going to say? He goes, what? I'm going to go, do you want to fuck get on with him? Fucking Judas.
Classic.
Please don't, people get it wrong. Do you know what? I still get, even today, even after he went on stage and said it was a mistake, I still get people now, even there.
Yeah.
This is what he did. And I think it's funny. I said to Steve, leave it in the book because he only got it taken out. But I said, leave it in because it just shows you. You know, it paints this big picture. It is weird, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it's just like more controversy and clouding added to the story, isn't it? And then it's just like, at the end of the day, you're like, hey, we're brothers, we're best mates, so we still hang out together, we might work together in the future, and everyone's just like even more interested in what you're up to, you know?
Well, I think people thought we did it on purpose, but I was actually told about it by a guy in America who sent it me. I thought it was a joke at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I wrote to Steve, I won't say what we said, and then we did this and did that, and yeah. And then obviously I could prove, you know, that it wasn't what people had told him. Someone told him, I think one of his Shepherd Bush gigs, it says something like, at first I thought, don't shoot a messenger. And all I made Steve promise me is never tell me who the messenger was because I will fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
It's obviously bollocks. Whoever did it on purpose.
Really, yeah. No, I think it's really good that you guys have, you know, that you become friends again after all of that, because like against all odds really, just shows that you are brothers at the end of the day.
He's pulled out, but of course he's got that in the back of his mind. You know, is it true, ain't it true? Because he's got the two stories, and it weren't until it was actually proved on publishing paper where it come from, and that it wasn't tens of thousands, it was under £200, paid back to some studio straight away, that it come to light, you know. But people do make mistakes, it's easy one to do. I mean, if you know, if you've got that record and it's got, say, big A, little A written on the back, which it had, it just listed it all.
Yeah. And it's weird how things have an effect in that, because like, I mean, those copies of the book, that was the first print, and then after that it was changed, so it was taken out, and then I bought the first edition copy of the book with that part in it, and I read that, and now they're worth like bloody 500 quid or something, and I'm just like, that's just madness, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get, I mean, it's, to be honest with you, more and more recently, and I'm not, you know, I don't go publicly and things like that, but a lot of people, especially recently, I won't go over certain details, but over other things, you know, to do with Paco leaving the band and stuff like that. A lot of rumours get made up, and they always come out in the end.
Yeah.
It was all along. I don't need to apologise, but, you know, I've had a few people over the Steve thing. The Steve thing was heavy because a lot of people obviously looked at it and thought, we bastards, how could you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to see his last Shepherd's Bush Empire. And he said, come. You know, I didn't know he was going to apologise on stage, but I got in the foyer and he's a load of girls stage, really slagging me off. And I thought, I can't do this, I'm going to walk away. So I went home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I didn't see the apology either, but until, you know, they don't know, they've just read the book. You know,
yeah. Oh, that must have been mad. That's like a film, isn't it?
Really weird, yeah. But I mean, you know, it's obviously going to come out of the wash, and it's made us stronger. In a way,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, with Steve, it's like with Sid. Sometimes I haven't seen Sid for 2 years, but we're as close as we've ever been, and that's the same with me and Steve. It won't change. You know?
Yeah, no, that's the way it should be. I mean, 2 years goes so fast, especially when you're busy, and like if you can just message somebody or like pick up the phone and you're the same as you ever was, and that's a good person, isn't it? Like,
yeah, when I bumped into Rebellion, did we play? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I bumped into him outside. And we just stood chatting for a while. And the amount of people that were shocked and were taking photos. He went, can you see this? I went, yeah. But we're not the ones that walk about, you know, talking about it. It's just, it's natural, it is what it is.
Yeah. Did you get banned from Rebellion at one point and then you were allowed back? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. So I was banned for life. 2013 maybe? Yeah, been after 2012, so I got banned for life then. Not only from there, but anywhere that show sex security did as well.
Oh, okay. Was it a fight with a bouncer?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, if you want the story, I can give you the story. Everyone knows it now. They didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
So basically, with conflict playing, we had a thing with show sec from years ago, because it was show sec at Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
The dogs. They put dogs on stage, and you know, so we had history with them anyway. So we played, everything was all right. Show set were doing it, and the crowd were quite rough because it was packed. You know, one of the crowd was surf diving and knocked one of show set's teeth out here. He went out the office and said to, you know, before he could say what was what, they just flooded the pit, thinking conflict. It's gone on, and we had about 50 of them in there.
Yeah.
Grappling. Do you know what grappling is?
Like grabbing each other, like wrestling.
It's the security thing they used to do with the Clash. So basically, if they're coming over, they grab their hair so they can't get back in, pull them over, and then backdooring it, like the old days, kicking them out the back, and I could see all that.
Oh, right.
Then one hit me at the front when I had to fuck off and read down it. They hit me, so they left it at the end, and then they waited for me, reared up, and a few things were said. Nothing happened. When I rung Daz, I went, sorry about that, mate, you know. 6.5 dozen. The other, he said, I know. I said, I'm coming down on the Saturday to meet John. Is that all right? Because public image was playing. He said, yeah, no problem. And I was sitting in there, and then I got escorted out by 2 women. Because, yeah, for no reason, they come up and just went, look, you know, it's unacceptable, you can be in here. So I said, okay. And I left.
Wow.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, so it was obviously probably unacceptable, you know what I mean, to be out of, well, not out of control, but to confront their security, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've got the venue on just going, well, you know, if he's kind of threatened our security and they haven't done anything, then we don't want him here. There's a few other bands that I won't mention that when we don't really like conflict playing because we don't feel comfortable. And I don't understand, well, one, that's good because it wasn't about being comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we banned, and I just accepted it. I thought, okay, you know, it's done, it's over. There was a lot of bullshit being put about. I just accepted it. Yeah, okay, so if you don't understand. And then I saw Daz at a couple of other gigs, and he went, "Oh, you're really back on form." And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to do rebellion." And he went, "Oh, I'll try." And then last year, I got hold of him, I went, "Any chance?" And I expected the usual. No, they won't have it. And he said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to speak to Showset. It's 7 years, and I'll speak to the venue owners." When he come back and said yes, I was like, wow.
Nice. Yeah.
Security company, but different people this time, and they couldn't have been more accommodating. It was all right.
Yeah.
I apologised to the two venue owners. Couldn't apologise to the security because none of the same ones. But the two ladies that had to put up with it, yeah, I did. I apologised to them and said that I went in the right place, which I wasn't. You know, my dad had died a year before, weren't, you know, quite there. Yeah, and we went down. It was good. We went down a storm, and I think that type of thing was, what's he going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After the first time back, but it's not. You know, I fucked up a couple of gigs before that. But with me, this, and one of the drummer before this one said, "Well, that wasn't a game plan." But there is no game plan with me. I can't tell. It's not performance. You know, I don't do anything on purpose. It's just what happens.
Yeah, this unfolds in front of you.
Someone moved, you know what I mean? But we went down really well. We don't get me wrong. We still was, you know, I'm not going to go on there and not, you know, and just go through the motions. I can't do that.
No, it's more than that.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I remember there was like a real atmosphere in the crowd. The whole weekend, like, well, building up to your show, it was, and like building up to Rebellion, it was like, oh my God, Conflict are back, it's gonna kick off, and everyone just wanted to go for the action, like, and obviously everybody was like fucking wanted to hear your songs again as well. But it was like there was a buzz about it that was sort of overriding a lot of other acts, because it's like, we're going to see the Ruts, we're going to see the Stranglers, we're going to see Sham 69, but you know, there's a rare band that's just like, oh, what's going to happen here, you know?
It was quite weird because you know, your stage crew were great, but even they was like, "You all right? You all right?" You know what I mean? So, you know, just obviously, and even down at the security really, because I thought I better make it clear that I'm coming in, I'm going to be in that pit, you know, rather than just do it. And then you know, because I do that at any festival, whether security like it or not. I prefer to have them to know, you know. And they couldn't have been more accommodating. They didn't like me walking through the crowd to go on, and I wanted to do that, you know, just sneak on the side. And I don't know. Yeah, it went. I mean, as a gig goes, it was a great set. It went really well. Who knows? I was quite relieved when. I suppose I was quite relieved in a way that we pulled it off without incident, but disappointed in a way.
Yeah, and then I mean, you still got, like you said, you were going to be in Brazil at the minute, and you can play America, Europe. You still got a big following all over, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, we was meant to be in Europe at the moment. We had a month in Europe from April to May, and then ended at Punk and Disorderly. Then we had USA, Canada, Ireland. We had quite a lot, but obviously all that's gone. But they've started rebooking. We're not going to talk about USA. I think USA is all next year. The festival is part of a
busy year.
Sorry?
It's going to be a busy year. Everyone's going to be making up for this year.
Well, that's why our agent MAD said, look, you know, we need to confirm these venues. And I went, really? And they went, well, everyone's coming out of the traps now, and the venues will just be solid, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously overseas, well, don't get me wrong, in a day we pull a lot here. I think we overplayed here for a couple of years, to be honest. But yeah, overseas is, you know, very, very big crowds.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, do you use it as a bit of a holiday? I mean, do you sort of think like you'll have a few days off in Brazil and places like that as well, or is it all business?
Well, let's put it this way, the September tour, we played 26 gigs in 31 days.
Yeah, okay. So no messing about then.
I was bloody knackered. I think that's the most I've ever done since Ungovernable Force tour, you know, so
Yeah.
it was a bit, just wanted to pull it off, really. If you do get a day off, it's nice, but I mean, we always make the most of it anyway while we're there, whether it's even going out, seeing different things, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a beach person, so if we're playing Orange County, I'm always going to the beach before the gig or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, definitely. All right, mate. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, so I want you to get out in the sun and enjoy the last of it, man. So thanks for having me. Thanks for chatting to me.
No problem. Thank you very much, Paul. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care, mate. Thanks a lot. Bye.